We're here again, episode 3.
Episode 3, and we're wearing the same clothes, so it almost gives a hint that maybe we're doing a couple back to back.
Or we're wearing the same clothes at weeks apart, which is okay.
It's okay.
That's weeks apart.
Yeah,
They caught us
absolutely.
maybe on the same day.
100%.
Darren, so what I want to quickly talk about today, and hopefully
Okay.
you can educate me on some of these things, and also
Pressure.
never pressure. But
Okay.
what does pressure make? Diamonds.
I was going to say
Pressure
a
is
hard-boiled
amazing.
egg. I don't know.
Oh, good. You don't want pressure in a hard-boiled egg. That could explode, actually.
That actually
That's
could.
why you shouldn't microwave hard-boiled eggs. But besides that point,
Okay.
I think there's some people who may want to be educated on some of the different mechanisms of protection, alerting, security, even terminology.
Sure.
And I know I could even use some of this because I've heard some of this terminology and I know some of these. Some of these I'd like to hear more on. So when you hear MFA, what's that mean?
Multi-Factor Authentication. We, for example, just
So
like...
it's an acronym.
It's an acronym. It's
Okay.
an acronym. And
In IT?
In IT, I know we use a lot of them.
Hmm.
But let's just think of it as you're going to the shopping, the grocery store, and you want to use your credit
Yeah.
card. You got to put a PIN number in. You have to have something you know and something you have.
Okay. And I mean, let's be honest, I hope a lot of people does know what multi-factor authentication
I
is.
think by nowadays
because
we should, yes.
everybody should have that on all their personal things too. Social media, banks,
100%.
all your critical
Especially the
things.
banks. Especially the banks.
Look for multi-factor authentication. If it doesn't have it, probably don't use it. Now, another one I constantly keep hearing about. Syslog. What is it?
That's basically actually dumping data through a standardized mechanism into whatever platform you want. So an example
Okay.
would be you have a SIM solution. So your automation.
Hold on. What's a SIM? The
Security.
thing that goes in my cell phone?
No. So think of a SIM as your main collection point, your reporting engine to try to bring multiple different things together for it to be aggregated together. So maybe you have a firewall contributing.
Okay.
You have your endpoint solution. Maybe you have an intrusion prevention system. Maybe you have
Gotcha.
multiple. You want to bring it all together so you're correlating data in one brain.
But this one is just SIM and it's not an acronym.
It is an acronym, but you're putting me on the spot to remember exactly what that is. And security, incident,
Event management, maybe?
event management. That is it. Thank you. Apparently, I was going to buckle under the pressure.
That's okay.
Thank you.
You wouldn't make diamonds, but you could make hard-boiled eggs.
Yes. No, I appreciate it. And I think Syslog is important, especially, let's talk a little bit on the data protection side.
Yeah.
Is for a long time, I guess I look at any time a threat's happening or anything in a SIM is that it's like trying to pieces to a puzzle. You want to understand what the actual picture is, and backup has a lot of those puzzle pieces. So we should be providing those puzzle pieces through the Syslog, through providing that telemetry into a SIM.
Okay. Is there anything around key management?
Yeah, there's in this one. I had a don't ask me what this acronym exactly
I
stands
use ear
for.
tags though.
Okay,
For key management,
okay.
because when I lose my keys, my ear tag can find them.
No, that's perfect.
Right?
That's perfect. And we're hopefully everybody understands nowadays that we should be using password managers.
Yeah.
And try to remember one maybe passphrase, a long passphrase, get you access to all your other passwords. But what about encryption keys? What if you have an encryption keys? Setting it once in a system and then saying you never change it again, probably not the best way. So there are protocols out there that can manage this for you. You just have to enable those protocols and let them keep updating your encryption keys without you having to remember it.
So what is one of those major
One of them is a
protocols?
KMIP.
Okay.
Key
And that's a key
management
management.
influence. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Gotcha. So you kind of, I guess password managers we're going to talk about another day.
I think
'Cause
so.
I think we've seen some things about them. So I'm not going to go there.
You know, that is a hot topic for us.
This is a bite-sized conversation. Let's stay on
Yes.
track. Let's make sure we're
Don't get me ranting. Don't get me ranting.
So one I'm very interested about, and actually I'm not that educated on, is Yara. What is this?
YAR is an interesting one because it's a little pun on another acronym. It's yet another recursive acronym. Having fun. It was created by VirusTotal, which was later bought by Google.
Okay.
But it's a way to search your data in 8-bit blocks, so it's very efficient and very fast. The key to it is you have to have an idea what you're looking for. You set up the search criteria to say, show me everything. A great example is non-security, is credit cards.
Okay.
Go through all my data on a hard drive or all my backup data and tell me anywhere there's a credit card number. Or if you talk about it as a malicious threat, where this was started from a threat hunting perspective, is we've identified that Lockbit gang, the guys that run this whole thing, are in your environment.
Okay.
Let's actually go and look for, could be 500 different indicators of compromise to identify Lockbit. Let's use a Yara to go through that data really a lot faster than doing a scan, when a scanning technology hits your CPU 68%, basically means your machine is unusable. Yara takes about 20%, so we'll go through your data a lot faster in those 8-bit blocks.
So the Yara file itself is almost like a filter that you apply to your search query.
100%. 100%. And people sometimes next question, well, how do I create those? And they're not very hard to actually create, but I would suggest out of the box, you can go to like Mandiant and Reversing Labs, etc. They have GitHubs with hundreds and thousands of these rules already created by their threat analysts.
I think that's a good Cyber-Snapshot topic, is how can you create a Yara file, even maybe leveraging some AI tools?
Oh, I think that would be a good one.
Anything else? I want to keep these bite-sized, short and sweet, so anything else that you could help me understand?
I think another one is, I think is really important in general and in general security practice, but specifically to data protection, is hardening your environment. So you should be making sure that all your operating systems are hardened as much as possible. Means closing the holes. So if you're not using RDP, turn off RDP. Don't let RDP come into your environment. And there are tools nowadays that can do that. A backup compliance and security analyzer will go through maybe 30 or 40 things in a backup environment and tell you where there's openings. As you close those holes, you make your environment stronger.
True. Yeah, I mean, you need those threat centers, even network operation centers and
100%.
controls to be able to see, in the day and age we live, what your security score is, right? I mean,
100%.
that seems like an important thing to me today.
Could be a really good game, right? If you do play with another organization, you can get the higher score in between backup environments, or even on an operating system. Who can make
like Canadian's Worst Driver, where you'd have Canadian's Worst Security, or that could be a game show.
Well, I think we just figured out a new whole blog series that we can run.
Interesting.
I think it's good.
All right. Well, thanks for educating me on that.
No problem.
I do believe other people may find that of value. Also, in the comments, throw in some things that you believe are important when it comes for up-and-comers and people who maybe are not that educated in security
Yes,
yet.
absolutely.
What are things you've learned in the field? Besides that, thank you, Derran.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Cool. And looking forward to episode 4. We might change clothes next time.
Hopefully.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye-bye.